Hey, Damien.
Daphne, where are you? I've been worried sick about you.
I'm sorry, honey. I just had to leave the house. I'm in a coffee shop in town, just sitting, relaxing, reading my book. I'm just enjoying a time out away from you-know-who.
My mom and dad.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, your dad's a nice guy. He's quiet, unassuming, gentle. I really like him. But your mom, and don't get offended when I say this, she's too much, Damien.
I guess she can be a little overbearing sometimes, but she's my mom, Daphne. I really want the two of you to get along. I thought you liked her.
Well, I did at first, but then...
Then?
She's very controlling. Since she moved to town and let us live in her and your dad's home, she's always coming over. I get that it must be a bit of a change of scenery, downsizing, and I get that she still has a strong connection with her old house, but she is always here. She turns up unannounced and will stay for days at a time. Like, she's been here for 9 days now, and there's no sign of her leaving. Also, she does know we're engaged, right?
Of course she does.
Then why is she making us sleep in separate beds? We're both 30, Damien. We're not teenagers anymore. I want to sleep in the same bed as my fiancé.
She's very religious. She still thinks that we haven't, you know.
What? Is she living in the 21st century?
Well, technically she was born in the 20th century.
So were we, Sherlock, but we live in the 21st. And we're not devout Christians who want to wait until marriage to consummate our vows.
But it's her house, Daphne. It's her rules. We have to be respectful.
So why don't we get our own house? We can rent. Heck, we can buy. We have the money. I don't know why we're still living in your mom and dad's old house.
You know why, Daphne. It's so we can save for the wedding. And then once we're married, we can buy a house. You've just got to be a little bit more patient. Besides, it's not a good time to buy in the area. No one's selling at the moment. And you said you wanted to stay in town and not move to the suburbs.
Your mom is making me think twice about that. Besides, if we can just be a little bit more boundaried with your mom and dad, and then my patience won't be ground to dust. Damien, don't you see? It's driving me insane. I don't want to come home. I'd literally rather eat, sleep, and live in this coffee shop.
Don't say that, Daphne. My mom is very fond of you. She just wants to help us out. If you think about it, they've been so generous to let us stay in this house without paying any rent.
But what's the real price?
What do you mean?
No rent, sure, but what's the real price? My sanity? I feel like I'm your mom's unpaid servant. I have to cook for her and your dad. I have to clean up after them, and then they criticize everything I do. If one thing is out of place, I get yelled at. I wouldn't even let my own mom talk to me the way yours does. We can't even move any of our own things into the house. They're all being locked up in the garage. Because your mom doesn't want her precious home to look different to how she had it before, even though they no longer live there.
Okay. I see what you mean. I guess I haven't seen the realities of what's been going on so much since I've been working.
No, I wish I still had my job, Damien. I wish you didn't convince me to quit my job. I even preferred my old boss to your mom currently.
Oh, come on, Daphne, please. Be kind. She's difficult, I know, but she's my mom. And if you're going to marry me, then you're going to be seeing a lot more of my family, not less.
I don't think that's physically possible, Damien. I don't think I can possibly see more of your mother than I'm currently seeing. I've seen her more times than I've seen my own reflection in the mirror. I see her in my dreams. There's no escape.
Stop being dramatic, Daphne.
I'm not. I wish I was.
What do you want to do then? I can't ask her to leave. It's her house. If you want her to leave, then you're going to have to tell her yourself, I'm afraid.
Okay, fine.
Fine?
I'll ask her to leave.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I don't know if this is going to end well.
If we have to stay in a motel, so be it. I can't be in that house for one more night with her, Damien. Or else I might just lose my mind.
Oh, God.
We'll be fine, Damien. Wish me luck.
It's your funeral.
Ever the supportive fiancé. Thanks for nothing, Damien. Hey, Joan. Daphne, dear, you've been gone all day. Where are you? There are a lot of things that need attending to in the house. These chores aren't going to sort themselves. See, that's what I was going to message you about, Joan. I'm not going to be able to attend to any chores today. Oh, really? You have a job now? No, I don't have a job. So, what are you doing then? Well, I'm in a coffee shop, and I've just ordered my 4th coffee of the day. I'm reading the book that I received as a present from your son almost 6 months ago and have never had the opportunity to read. And simply put, I am having one of the most pointless and relaxing days of my life. Daphne, my son isn't marrying a layabout. But I'm not lying down. That's not what I'm saying. Listen, Daphne, your husband wakes up every day and he does what? He goes to work, Precisely. He goes to work at a very stressful job where he earns money. Money that will be spent on things like food, weddings, and that book you're reading right now. Books aren't expensive, Joan. I've purchased books without my husband's money before. And in case you weren't aware, I had a job, too, once upon a time. A job that my husband convinced me to leave. It was my understanding that you were finding the job stressful. Yes? Well, it sounds like you weren't cut out for a career, Daphne. Cut out? Oh, I was cut out for a career. I loved my job. I just had an overbearing boss that was making my life a living hell. The job itself suited me just fine. Well, regardless, you don't have a job right now, and so you have to make yourself useful. Wives don't just sit around all day watching television or reading books. They do things around the house so that when their husbands get home, the husband can relax and take a load off. Wives prepare dinner and clean the house. Sure they do, in the 1940s. Joan, I think we may have a misunderstanding here. I'm going to marry your son, but not to become a stay-at-home housewife in the outdated conventional sense. My intention is to get another job, so we will have a joint income. I'm just taking a few months off and then I'm going to find another job. But how are you going to juggle a job and take care of children? Children? Who said anything about children? Raising a family hasn't even crossed my mind. It hasn't crossed your mind, but you're getting married. Yeah, because I love Damien. He asked me to marry him and I want to be with him for the rest of my life. But that doesn't mean that the second I say I do, I'm going to be looking up local preschools and ordering house cleaning materials. No. Marriage is just a declaration of our love for each other. One day we might have kids, I'm not ruling it out. But that's going to happen on our terms. I see. And listen, Joan, this living situation we have going on right now, well, I've been doing a lot of thinking and it's not working out. What do you mean? I mean that it's not going to work. Living with Damien, but he's going to be your husband. I mean living with you. But I don't live with you, dear. I know you don't. Technically, but you've spent more time in the house than you have in your new home. We still own the house. We're letting the two of you live in it until you're married, and then we're going to sell. That was the agreement, Daphne. I need to make sure that the house is kept in immaculate condition before it goes on the market. I understand that, but it's not solely my responsibility to keep it clean. And it's not my responsibility to cook for everyone either. If you're living in my house, then you have to respect my rules. Once you have your own house, you can do with it what you please. Of course, you're welcome to place an offer on the current property if you so desire. Then you can do whatever you want to the house. You can read books all day to your heart's content. But until that point, you are a guest in the house, and, as such, you will need to do what I say. I'm also free to come and go as I please, considering I still own the property. If you have a problem with that, you can find somewhere else to live. Do I make myself clear? Crystal clear. You know what, Joan? I think I might just take you up on that. On what, dear? I think our time living in this house is coming to an imminent close. Daphne, don't be ridiculous. I'm only asking you to do a few chores around the house. You don't have to move into a motel. Yes, actually, I think I do. Goodbye, Joan.
Daphne, are you still at that coffee shop?
No, actually, Damien, I've moved on to a bar. Nice place. I'm enjoying a glass of Chardonnay and making good progress with this book.
I've just got home, and my mom is here, and she's very distressed.
Distressed? She should have a glass of Chardonnay, too. It certainly helped to alleviate my stress.
Are you coming home?
Well, if your mom is still in the house, then no. Actually, I was thinking of spending the next few nights in a motel.
A motel?
Yes, Damien, a motel. It's a place you can stay in when you don't want to go home.
Oh, come on, Daphne, you're overreacting here.
Actually, Damien, I am not. I had a conversation with your mother earlier where it became clear that her expectation for me is that I become a kind of 1940s housewife. A woman whose only calling in life is to bear and raise children and take care of the homestead for her hard-working husband.
Daphne, we've gone over this before. My mom is old-fashioned. She has her expectations for us, sure, but that doesn't mean we actually have to live our life the way she expects us to.
Do we not? Because I'm beginning to think that you pander to every demand of hers. You're so terrified of her, Damien. You're such a mommy's boy. I had no idea I was marrying such a mommy's boy.
You're being cruel, Daphne. You've had one too many glasses of wine. When you sober up, you'll realize you're making a mistake.
A mistake? I don't think so, Damien. I think I'm sobering up already to the situation I've been put in. I'm going to be your wife. Why are you letting your mom walk all over me? She's turned me into this passive servant. And she's not even paying me for the work I'm doing.
She is paying you, Daphne. She's letting us live in her house.
Letting us? No. She's decided that she needs a cleaner for the house so it remains spotless for when it goes on the market. I'm not a guest, Damien. I'm a caretaker. I'm not even allowed to read my book without being judged for it. We're not even allowed to share a bed. How messed up is that?
I understand it's been difficult, but this situation is out of our control.
It isn't. It's never been out of our control. We have money, Damien, a lot of money. Heck, we could buy the house from your mom. Actually, that isn't such a bad idea.
What?
We should buy the house, Damien.
My mom will never sell it to us.
Won't she? Think about it. She loves that house. She wants it in perfect condition. She wants it kept in the family, so why don't we just buy it from her? And then we can tell her to leave because it will be ours.
I don't know.
It's perfect.
Do you really think that buying this house will result in us seeing less of my mom?
Yes, because the problem is that at this point in time, we have no rights of ownership over the property. She can tell us to leave, but she won't be so quick to do that if we own the house, will she?
I guess not.
It's the perfect plan.
I guess we could ask her and see what she says.
We don't even need to do that, Damien. We can just use a lawyer as a proxy. We don't even need to be present when exchanging contracts.
What are you saying, that we buy it from her in secret?
Yeah.
She isn't going to like that at all.
But that way she can't say no.
I think we go with plan A. Let me do the talking and I'm sure she'll agree. She might even let us buy the house at a discount. You never know.
You never know.
Will you come home if I agree to this?
That depends. Will your mom stop trying to mold me into the perfect 1940s housewife?
I'll have a word with her. I'll tell her to ease off. In fact, she says that she and Dad are going to leave in the morning.
Finally!
But I do want you to put in more of an effort with her, Daphne. I don't want you to hate her. She's my mom, after all. I know she's difficult, but try and vent to me, not her.
I'm sorry if I was rude to her earlier, Damien, but I just had enough.
I know. It's my fault. I've just been so busy at work I haven't noticed that it's been affecting you so much. I'll be better.
Just stand up for me more, Damien, then we'll do just fine. And I'm sure once we've set up some boundaries with your parents, I'll get along with them just fine too.
Okay, so you're coming home?
I guess so. Maybe I'll stay for just one more glass of Chardonnay. I've nearly finished this book, you know.
Any good?
It's okay. I'm looking forward to reading a lot more over the next few months.
You'll certainly be able to in our house.
Our house. That's all I wanted to hear from you. We didn't end up buying the property from Joan. Luckily, another property went on the market even closer to Damien's work. We bought it and moved in straight away. It's such a relief to have Joan call ahead and ask permission to stay in our house now. I feel like her respect for me has grown ever since. I even got a new job in a bookstore, so I am able to read every day.